All right, hello, it's 2 p.m., October 31st, 2019. Welcome to the weather update. We have very warm conditions outside right now. The rains have kind of moved away from us right now. We have a couple of showers around. Nothing too major, just a couple of showers. But the thing to really note is some of these temperatures. So let's get back to this. I'm going to look at what it is on Long Island. So Farmingdale, we're up to 68 degrees, south wind at 18, gusting to 33. So we have these strong winds now that are starting in across the area, and these winds are going to get worse as the day goes on. But it's even warmer if we go ahead and look at what's going on in New Jersey, because right now in New Jersey we have 75 degrees at Mount Holly, so that's very warm. Let's see what it is in Toms River. 72 degrees. So I said they were going into the 70s, and sure enough, that's exactly what's happened. A south wind at 21, gusting to 28, and just very uncomfortable conditions outside. Very warm as well, and humid. Look at these dew points at Belmar Farmingdale, 67. Dew point is 72. So very muggy out there. Very muggy and warm. On Long Island too, we have these high dew points as well. So south wind at 18, 63 degree dew point on Long Island. And if we look at the underground observations, you will see, we're going to take a look at some of these observations right now. You will see Long Island is in the upper 60s, and we have some pretty strong winds here. This one's reporting some pretty strong winds. Let's take a look at this one here. So Deer Park is reporting south wind gusting up to 18. And again, if we go and we look in New Jersey, you see temperatures in the mid 70s now around Ocean County and Burlington County, which is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. 75 degrees here in Pemberton. The dew point is 70, so very muggy conditions. Very unusual to see this in October. Extremely unusual to see this in October. Very unusual. It's almost unheard of. So it's 75 degrees just to the end of the month. I mean, this is October 31st now. So if we do look at, I'm curious about Wrightstown. Let's see if we can get Wrightstown in here. McGuire Air Force Base, 74 degrees, dew point 67. Man. So with that warm, humid air in place, there is not so much for our area, but we are in marginal western part of Long Island in the city. Marginal risk for some severe weather tonight, and that goes into New Jersey, and then the western part of New Jersey is in the slight. And then there's an enhanced risk in the interior mid-Atlantic. So, with such warm, humid air in place and a very strong cold front approaching, conditions are favorable for severe weather. Looking at the Ventu sky, you will see here, again, these warm temperatures. Again, warmer in Jersey, of course. And if we look at the wind gusts, we have nothing too terrible right now in the mid-30s. If we look at the dew points, we'll see here that it's very humid. So dew points upper 60s to around 70 degrees, which is really uncomfortable. Let's move along. Now we're going to be using Ventu sky for this one, so you'll be able to see. We've gone over this before with the winds. I want to show you what happens, though. The winds are going to ramp up as we head toward 8 o'clock. You see the winds are now gusting into the 40s. Then as we head toward when this frontal passage comes, you'll see winds gusting into the 50s, and maybe some gusts over that. All right. So here is that front right here. Right here. So this would be it, and this is what the radar would look like at the time. Oh, that's right. This is we need this. My mistake. I gotta go back now. All right. So here you go. Here's that line that would be coming through Pennsylvania. Look at that. So that's pretty bad, this line right here. And you can see there's some really strong wind shear here. And this is what could cause tornadoes and things like that. So, again, we got to watch out for this. So let's see. Let's go into Friday. Let's go to 2. Oh, this is PM. No, this is AM. Oh, I'm going backwards already. That's the first. Here, 2 a.m. on the 1st. Okay. Looks like it has the front already through our area. I don't know. I don't think this is working correctly. Alright, well, I have the models, so we can use that. And we'll have to use something else. But what we will do... We're going to go back to September. Oh, yeah. October. Alright, let's go back to this. Let's go back to this. Let's look at the Cape. So this is the Cape. Not too high, but again, I think that there's still the chance of seeing around this line when it moves through around midnight. It's going to be approaching from the west, and this is when things are going to get really stormy for us. Okay, so let's look at the models and see. We'll just be looking at the GFS, the NAM, and pardon the phone ringing in the background. I keep getting robocalls. So here's the NAM. You know, I'll shut the door so we don't have to hear it. Robocalls. I keep getting them. They're really annoying. So, anyway, here comes the front. It's a robocall. I hear it from here. It's just, I keep getting these robocalls. It's really annoying. I'm sure you get them too all the time. So anyway, here comes the front, and you can see here is this front that comes through, and again, look at that line of strong to severe thunderstorms that will be moving through around noon, I guess. But it looks like the good news for Long Island is it does weaken somewhat, so that's good. So again, we have this line here, and again, this is going to be really bad to our west, I think. Good news is it does weaken it, but to our west, this could be some really intense stuff, and that includes New Jersey too. But the NAM does weaken it by the time it gets here. So we're not going to be seeing too much rain until this line comes through. And you can see there it is. So there is that line on the NAM. You see it very well, a very well-defined line. Let's go and look at the temperatures and the dew points. So you can see where that front is again. So again, very sharp front right here that's going to be moving through. Look at some of these wind speeds that are going to be coming out ahead of it. You can see all the barbs there. And then that moves through right around a little after midnight. And then things really improve rapidly. So let's go and look at some other things. Let's look at temperatures. Well, I don't use this model for temperatures. I want to look at wind speeds. I hate robocalls. I'm going to have to unplug the phone when I do these things. Yes, and I have no more robo, but some still happen. Anyway, so you can see some of these strong winds here. This is a little misleading because this only shows sustained winds up into the 20s. But we're going to have gusts into the 50s tonight. And then that wind risk moves away. You can see the worst winds are going to be ahead of the front. The worst winds are going to be ahead of the front. So if we look at the total accumulated precip, you'll see the heaviest rain is also now off to the west. So we're not even going to be seeing any of the heaviest rain. Originally, that's what it was going to look like. Now, it's not going to quite look like that. All right, so that is the NAM. Let's look at the HRRR model. And look at how this handles it. So again, this is the HRRR. It's much more intense to the west, and then it gets some of that marine influence because the ocean waters have cooled off a little bit to our south, and that weakens it enough that we wouldn't have any. Like I said, Long Island is in less of a risk of severe weather, but it doesn't mean no risk. It just means less. But again, this is a really intense line here that's going to be moving through right around midnight. You'll be able to see that. So really intense line there moving through. That is the HRRR model. And so there's an agreement that right around midnight or so, give or take an hour on either side, is when this front is going to wind up moving through this line of severe thunderstorms and heavy showers, and some of these could bring down some strong winds for our area. So let's go back to the GFS, and I'm going to look at the GFS here. Get this frontal passage on the GFS. Here it is again. And then it's a quick mover. You can see it just races through. So let's go look at the temperatures. You'll be able to see the temperature gradient again that you're going to have. So out ahead of this front, you can see nearly 70-degree air. And then, boom, front comes through and dries out very quick and cools off. So, yeah, very sharp front that's going to be moving through tonight. So we look at the sky. I'll show you. Skies clear out tomorrow. We have a sunny day. We have a nice day. Same thing for Saturday, and even Sunday now. So we're going to have a lot of nice weather coming up for the next couple of days, and that's our reward for dealing with this horrible air mass that we are in right now. So let's go to the NAM model as far as the sky cover goes. I gotta go to windy.com too, because I want to use that site too to show you. So NAM's clearing us out by probably before sunrise, and we have mostly sunny skies. So the rest of the day. So it's like a nice day tomorrow. So that's good. Originally, it looked like tomorrow's going to be a little cloudy, and then this front decided to move on a little quicker, which is good for us. Let me go to windy.com and show you a little more some of these risks. Again, because I'm mainly focused on the storm that we're going to be dealing with in this weather update. So let's go to windy.com. All right, so 7 p.m. this uses the Euro, and you see by 7 the winds start picking up. We're going to see 25-mile-an-hour winds sustained. And as we go to 11, as we go right ahead of that front, winds pick up even more, sustained. And again, offshore is where the winds are really going to be strong. All right. But if we look at the wind gusts, this is where things get really scary. So you have that 51, 53-mile-an-hour wind gust here ahead of this front. 9 p.m. We're already starting to see wind gusts. Once you get to around 9 p.m., you're going to start to see wind gusts into the 40s. And then once we get to 1 a.m., look at this. This is what's really scary, where that front moves through. The wind gusts in these showers, because they could bring down some of the higher winds, could be 78 miles an hour. So this is some pretty scary stuff that we're going to be dealing with, and I think we're going to see a significant amount of power outages from this front when it moves through. With some of these really strong winds, and the morning commute tomorrow could be having some issues on the trains because of these winds that are going to be moving through. But once we're done with this front and things quiet down, but look at this. We're still dealing with 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts behind the front. So this is from the west now, and then they finally back off as we get to the morning. But wow, it's going to be a stormy day, and it does back off later on. But it's going to be very windy tomorrow, so keep that in mind. But again, expect some impacts for the morning with these winds. This is the main threat with this is the winds, because we have such a sharp frontal passage that usually you just don't see things like this that often. And again, you have that enhanced. So again, look at these winds. Again, 75-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That's insanity. 78-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Man. That is crazy. So this is the Euro, all right? I don't think the NAM is quite as impressive with these wind gusts. Looking at the NAM, we're going to go look at the NAM now, because I can switch models on this too. Show you. NAM is a little less crazy with the winds. But the Euro is a pretty accurate model, so don't be surprised if you see some of these wind gusts verify. Clearly see that front right there. So I'll be watching this. I'll have another weather update later on for you this evening. And get ready for a very stormy night. Take care.